Welcome to another episode of Game Time. I'm JP Murrieta, and this week we're at Santa Fe High School, home of the Demons and their girls soccer team and head coach Justin Najeka. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Let's dive right into the postseason. The seeding and selection came out this past weekend. Santa Fe's a 5 seed. You take on Clovis. What'd you think about that number 5 seed you received and how the bracket kind of sized up?
I think we were very happy with the number 5 seed. I think the bracket, I like the side of the bracket we're on, even though if we keep winning, we have to play number 1, but that's okay. We're ready for that.
One match at a time, right?
That's right.
Not jumping too far ahead. How do you match up with Clovis? What do you know about their team or how you kind of stack up with them?
So I think it's going to be a really good game. We have different playing styles. They tend to play a long ball. They're fast, they're big. Our style is a little bit different, and we're a little bit more precise. So I think it's going to be 2 different styles going against each other.
Well, they'll be going against each other on your field. You get home field advantage. How much does that home field advantage help? And it's going to be a little bit cooler this week. How are the girls going to adapt to the colder temperatures?
So I think we're going to adapt just fine. We practice later at night, so we're used to it being a little cooler. The home field advantage is great. We hope to pack the stands. And, you know, the more that are there cheering for us, I think the better we're going to do.
Well, you only have 2 losses on the year to Cleveland and Albuquerque High. What do you like best about the way your team is playing right now and how they've developed this season?
I think the way they work together is very positive. They played together for so long growing up. They know what each other is going to do. They know where each other is going to be. So it makes it really exciting.
Well, I want to get a couple of these stats right. Asha Smeltzer, 32 goals. Elsa Smith with 31 goals. They're 2 of your senior captains. What kind of leaders are they on this team?
They're both amazing leaders. Very different styles. Very different styles. Strong. Asha's more quiet and goes out and demonstrates what she's going to do and is the leader on the field. Elsa is very, very strong, physical, and she sets a standard that just everybody else we want to live up to.
Well, we've talked about some offense. How about defense? You've only given up 13 goals all year. You have a dozen shutouts this season. What can you say about your defense and the goalkeeping this year?
I think our defense is amazing. They work very well. They stay organized. They work well together, and so they cover each other. And I think our goalkeeper, Kaya, who stepped up this year, she was a wing, and she's played goalkeeper when she was younger. She's worked really hard, amazing in goal, able to stop strong shots. So we're very, very happy.
What's your message to this team going into the postseason, getting ready for that first round match?
I think let's just work hard, be prepared, and have fun.
All right, work hard, be prepared, have fun. Sounds like a good recipe for me. Good luck in the postseason. We'll be back with more Game Time after this. Are you living the life of an athlete? The New Mexico Activities Association brings you Life of an Athlete, a resource for students, educators, and parents to understand the challenges students face. Athletes, 1 night of drinking will negatively affect your athletic performance for 2 weeks, and athletes who drink or do drugs are twice as likely to get injured. Alcohol's effects can reduce a high school athlete's potential by as much as 20 to 30%. Are you living the life of an athlete? Log on to the website to find out today.
In life, things aren't scripted.
If you're an athlete, we need people like you and translate those skills to officiating.
You can get a lot out of it.
It happens in every town, in every game.
We never have a perfect game, but the rewards always outweigh the negativities.
Hi, I'm Hazel Hitt from Santa Fe High, and welcome back to Game Time.
The football playoffs are set for classes 2A through 6A, but before we look at the brackets, let's take a look back at the final week of the regular season. It was rivalry week for several schools around the state, including Cleveland and Rio Rancho. Top-ranked Cleveland took the Rams by storm, beating their rival 37-0 to clinch the district title and the number 1 seed in the postseason. Down south, Centennial and Las Cruces played for the district title. Zayden Davis rushed for 237 yards and a pair of scores as the Hawks beat the Bulldogs 30-23. Roswell remains unbeaten on the year after taking down rival Goddard 38-6.
Roswell earned the top seed in the Class 5A playoff bracket. Artesia put up 36 points in the first quarter and went on to beat Mayfield 43-7. Artesia is 9-1 and the number 2 seed heading into the postseason with a first-round bye. In a matchup of powerhouses, Lovington trailed Portales 14-7, but then scored 19 straight points to take the lead, and the Wildcats handed Portales their first loss of the year, 29-21. La Cueva continues to roll with a 63-28 win at Farmington. The Bears have won 7 straight. Cam Dyer accounted for 6 scores in this one. With the district title on the line between Clovis and Los Lunas, Clovis quarterback Jet Stone scored the go-ahead touchdown as the Wildcats win the game and district title 30-29. West Mesa quarterback Elijah Brody accounted for 5 touchdowns against El Dorado as the Mustangs picked up their 6th win of the season, 39-21. Here's a performance worth mentioning. Highlands' Amiri Mumba rushed for over 300 yards and 5 touchdowns in a 43-24 win over Miyamura. The Hornets are a 10 seed heading into the playoffs. Espanola Valley came into their season finale as district champs. The Sun Devils met up with Powake, and Espanola Valley scored every time they touched the ball in the first quarter. Jack Purdy and Adric De Leon, each with a pair of first quarter scores. Espanola Valley capped off a perfect district season with a 50-0 win. Robertson took down rival West Las Vegas 37-6. The Cardinals have now beaten the Dons 16 straight times in 20 of the last 21 meetings. Both teams still received a first-round bye in the playoffs. In 8-man playoffs, Legacy Academy hosted Clayton. It was the first playoff game ever for the Silverbacks. This was a defensive battle early, and Clayton came out on top 28-26 to advance to the state semifinals. Top seed Melrose took on Tatum in the 8-man quarterfinals, and the Buffaloes put up another big number 56-6 to advance to the semis. Gateway Christian is the number 1 seed in 6-man football. Their first opponent was Floyd, and Gateway Christian moved on with a 64-6 victory. Gateway Christian is still on track for a three-peat. Here's a look at the updated brackets for 6-man and 8-man football.
This past weekend, the field was set for the football playoffs for classes 2A through 6A. Let's take a look at the brackets for the Newsenda Credit Union State Football Championships and the first-round matchups.
Let's review the Class 2A bracket. Eunice is the number 1 seed. The Cardinals played in the final every postseason from 2015 to 2019, winning 3 in a row during that run. They host Escalante. Texaco is your 2 seed and will take on Estancia. Texaco reached the final last year, falling to JAL. Right now, Texaco's focus is on Texaco.
We spend more time talking about us and how we can help each other get better, and what we can do on a daily basis to be better people, better workers, better leaders, and through doing those things, I think the football kind of takes care of itself. Kids are really smart in what we do on the field, football-wise, but they're even better people.
In Class 3A, St. Michael's earned the number 1 seed and a first-round bye. In fact, the top 4 teams get a bye. 3 of those 4 are from the same district. St. Michael's knows a thing or two about the postseason. They played in the final each of the last 2 years.
I think the biggest motivation is them remembering how it felt, especially the seniors and juniors walking off the field the last 2 seasons, with that red trophy. Our biggest goal every season is carrying that blue trophy off the field, and it hasn't happened in a while, and they've been so close, but they've been working hard, from January on to now in the weight room, and trying to do what it takes to get that extra thing done so that they can walk off with that blue trophy. So I think that's the biggest thing right now.
The number 1 seed in the Class 4A bracket is the same team that finished last year number 1, the Bloomfield Bobcats. The unbeaten Bobcats have 7 shutouts on the year. They haven't given up a point the entire month of October. Bloomfield has outscored their opponents 472-34. Portales suffered their first loss of the year last week to Lovington. The Portales head coach says his team this year is similar to the one that won it all in 2019.
A lot of similarities, and I think that we just got to keep one game at a time. We don't look at anybody beyond the team that's in front of us for Friday night, and so just keep focused on what we're doing to get better each and every game.
The 5A number 1 is Roswell. The Coyotes are unbeaten. Of their 10 wins this year, they've only given up double digits in points to 2 opponents. Roswell is the 1, Artesia the 2. Artesia's only loss this season is to Roswell. Artesia head coach Jeremy Maupin knows the kind of pressure that comes with leading a program with 31 state championships, and he embraces it.
I feel that expectation, and I take losing hard. We adjust and do things, but I don't like to lose. I'm the guy that used to fight you over a game of checkers. I want to win, and I think that mindset helps me to kind of handle a lot of the pressure. I put more pressure on myself than I feel like anybody else can put on me. So I try to shoulder that for the kids as much as possible, and just make sure that each week we try to get better.
Last but not least, the Class 6A bracket. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's Cleveland, Centennial, La Cueva, and then Sandia. The Storm won it all in 2022, 2021, 2019, 2015, and 2011. They have one of the toughest defenses in the state. Cleveland is coming off that 37-0 shutout win over rival Rio Rancho to solidify another district title.
With guys like Strat Schufelt and Isaac Medrano, Chuka Tupman, Louie Birch, Solomon Kegler, guys, those are just the front 7 guys, and then we got some guys in the back like A.J. Manning and Michael Haynes who are just really, holding it down in the back. And when you put this group together as a collective, it definitely is one of the best defenses we've had.
Hi, I'm Amelia Smith from Santa Fe High School. We'll be back with more Game Time after this.
Do you love sports? Do you want a front row seat for exciting high school sports action in New Mexico? If the answer is yes to either of those questions, then becoming an interscholastic sports official may be right for you. The New Mexico Officials Association is looking for individuals age 15 years or older to serve as officials in 10 different sports. No experience is necessary and training is provided. If you're interested, call 505-923-3110. That's 505-923-3110. Or go to the website nmact.org and click on the Officials tab.
Hi, I'm Adelia Turner from Santa Fe High School, and welcome back to Game Time.
Welcome back to Game Time from Santa Fe High School. Let's switch gears to soccer. The brackets were released for the NMAA State Soccer Championships. Let's take a look at the first round matchups.
Let's start in girls Class A through 3A. Sandia Prep is the top seed. Bosque is the 2 seed. Those two met in the final last year. Sandia Prep is on a 14-match win streak. They haven't lost since the middle of September, and they've only given up 2 goals since then. Sandia Prep is the 2-time defending state champ. They've played in the final 6 of the last 7 years.
There's a lot of different approaches that coaches can take. Maybe if you were to talk to me 5 years ago, it might have been, hey, we need to rest ourselves, not we're expecting over the next 2 weeks as we lead into the state tournament.
In Class 4A, Hope Christian's number 1. The Huskies get a first-round bye along with Albuquerque Academy, St. Pius, and Los Alamos. One of those 4 schools has won a state title every year since 1998. The Huskies are the 2-time defending state champs, going for 3 in a row.
We don't really talk about it, but yes, I think that in the back of everyone's mind it's there, right? You don't want to be the one that lets everyone down, that, wow, we started this really cool thing and we're not coming through with it. So I think that there's some of it there, but at the end of the day, each team kind of forge their own path.
In 5A, Cleveland starts the postseason as the number 1 seed. The Storm finished runner-up last season. El Dorado is the defending state champ. Las Cruces is the only unbeaten girls team in New Mexico. Bulldogs head coach Chris Carrillo thinks his team has what it takes to compete against some of the northern schools.
Even though we come out with a good win against a good team, I kind of want to be overly critical and clean it up because the end goal has always been competing against Albuquerque. Looking at some of the matches and common games we have, score-wise, goals allowed, goals scored, I think it's going to be whoever shows up that day.
On the boys' side, Sandia Prep is the number 1 seed in Class A through 3A. Sandia Prep has more state championships than any other boys' soccer program in New Mexico history, with 21 overall titles. The Sun Devils are looking for their 4th straight state championship. Head coach Tommy Smith knows his team and program have a target every postseason.
Yeah, we don't mind the target. I mean, that just means that, you have respect and teams are gunning for you. If you're not a target, that means you're probably not doing some of the things you should be doing. But no, we don't. We like the challenge, and because each year it's a different group. I lost 8 seniors from last year's group, so it's a completely different team. And, but the attitude, the culture doesn't change. Which is us. We're trying to put ourselves in position to win at the end. So
in Class 4A, St. Pius is number 1. They haven't lost since the first week of September and are riding a 15-game win streak. The top 4 teams in the bracket receive a first-round bye, and those teams are St. Pius, Albuquerque Academy, Hope Christian, and Los Alamos. Academy has 10 state titles as a program and won it all in 2021. Hope Christian was last year's state runner-up.
The 4A is stacked with talent. You look at the results that have taken place throughout the year against 5A schools and against ourselves among the other 4A teams. And, we're winning a lot of, if not most of those games. So this is a tournament that, there's multiple teams that could win this tournament. So, we just need to be ready to go.
In Class 5A, Hobbs is number 1. Hobbs comes into the postseason with a perfect 20-0 record. They are averaging 4 goals a game. The Eagles are nationally ranked as one of the top 100 teams in the country and have one of the top scorers in New Mexico in Josh Chavez.
He's an unbelievable young man, one of the nicest human beings. And you know what? The kid comes in with a great work ethic. His leadership on the field is unbelievable. And just to add to it, initially when I came in, last year he played in a one-striker system. And so he was the only striker over the top. And I thought, that's not the system I play. I tend to look at, what do we have in reserve? What do we have on the bench? What does it look like? And all of a sudden we're looking at several athletes that can play over the top. And so it took him a little while to kind of get going, and he found himself on the bench a couple of times. And instead of throwing temper tantrums, instead of getting frustrated like many do, he went right back to work.
Lots of soccer and football to talk about this week, and next week we get to sprinkle in some cross country into the recipe, and volleyball will be here before you know it. The postseason is here. That's going to do it for another episode of Game Time. You know the place to find the most high school highlights. It's right here. We'll see you next time on Game Time.